Yo, what's going on, guys? So before we get into today's video, just gotta say that today's video is gonna be brought to you by Beautiful Halo, and I gotta say, if you guys want to purchase some really awesome anime merchandise, everything from Boruto / Naruto to Black Clover, My Hero Academia, Dragon Ball, click down in the description box and use my link below in order to do so. It's also a really great way to help support the channel. As a bit of an added bonus, a lot of their anime merchandise, like you saw in the video just now, is on sale right now, and there's free worldwide shipping on anything over $29. But with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into today's video. When it comes to three-man teams in Konoha, many fans will likely bring up the usual names: Team Kakashi, and eventually somebody will bring up Team Asuma, which is better known as the Inashika Cho Trio. However, what if I told you there was a three-man team, a special three-man team that served a very important role after the events of the 4th Great Ninja War, in particular after the events of Naruto the Last? Well, in today's installment of After Naruto Shippuden, we're going to discuss the team that was formed. Now, for those of you guys who are new, keeping it very brief, After Naruto Shippuden is a series on this channel where I cover the story of Naruto after the events of chapter 699 and before the start of the Boruto era. So with that being said, let's go ahead and dive right in. So the Ino Sai trio was specifically formed by Kakashi in the events that unfolded after Naruto the Last. This team obviously consisted of Sakura, Ino, and Sai, with Ino being given the leadership of the group, despite the fact that Sakura was a Jonin at this point and Sai already outranked both of them. Sakura at this point in the story, like stated before, was a Jonin, but Sai possessed a unique rank that was given to him by Kakashi that only Sai himself has. Now, the team ended up going on several security and intel gathering missions, but the root of everything was the plot that was used to frame Sasuke Uchiha for going through the criminal underworld to rally people for a rebellion against the 5 Great Nations. Now, I want you guys to remember this. So you have to remember that Sasuke at this point in the storyline was still paying for his crimes in the 4th Great Ninja War. Many villages and Kages didn't trust him fully, with Kakashi as Hokage and Gar as the Kazekage willing to truly give him a fresh start when his redemption journey began. In another video called Sasuke's Rebellion, I go into more detail about these events, which you can check out after this video if you still want more info. Now, the Ino Sai trio was sent on a mission to gather intel on the threat that saw a very high level of people in the Land of Fire and a Hokage aide be attacked. They were sent on a mission to investigate if Sasuke was truly the one trying to start a war against the 5 Great Nations. They were meant to investigate one of the Anbu who's under Kakashi, who actually turned out to be a Danzo loyalist who had ties with Root. This person began manufacturing the Tailed Beast drug that replicated the power of a Tailed Beast to varying degrees, as well as the Sharingan pills, both of which were made from leftover DNA of Naruto and Sasuke when they were bleeding out at the final valley after the 4th Great Ninja War. For more information about the Tailed Beast drug, I recommend checking out the video I have on this channel that goes over that topic. The team was also charged with locating Sakura after the Anbu kidnapped her in an attempt to draw Sasuke to the village, which had already been in progress since Sasuke caught wind of someone trying to frame him for starting a rebellion, and once he grabbed wind that Sakura had been in danger, Sasuke had begun traveling back to Konoha. Their final mission was an all-out brawl against Kido, the leader of that Anbu group, and the Anbu who served underneath him that were loyalists to Danzo. Now, I've covered Sakura's final battle with Kido in detail from start to finish in another video, which saw Kido taking the Tailed Beast drugs that were so potent that they transformed him into a pseudo-transformed Jinchuriki that had 9 tails. The threat that this possessed was so great that Kakashi, upon realizing that Kido's Anbu had transformed into several various different versions of the 9 tails with the 9 tails chakra cloaks, from the standard QB cloak to even some people having 6 tails, Kakashi formed his own 3-man team with the intention of heading to Konoha's forest before the battle reached the main area of the village. The 2 people that Kakashi chose to be his teammates were none other than Naruto Uzumaki and Hinata Hyuga. Naruto for his raw power and Hinata for Byakugan. I want you to truly understand how severe the situation had gotten and how grave it was. The fact that Naruto was grabbed to assist Kakashi to back up Sakura, and the fact that Kakashi was willing to leave the Hokage office, tells you how intense the battle was getting. Biju bombs, bigger than the size that the one that foretells Naruto shot at Orochimaru, were being thrown throughout the battlefield. The ground was shaking from the various attacks that were being discharged lash out. And during Sakura's fight, we saw her being thrown all the way across the other end of Konoha's forest, which I recommend going back and looking at the forest that surrounds Konoha to truly understand how far Sakura got thrown. Not only that, but she also got impaled by a tail from this pseudo nine tails, and only by using her Byakugo seal was she even able to survive the BG bomb that hit the side of her body. Just the sheer force of these attacks left Sakura's body shattered, and yet she still had to find the will to continue fighting. Once Sakura left to deal with Kido, Sai and Ino were forced to wrap up the fights with the remaining lower members who didn't have as much chakra, so their chakra cloaks weren't as dangerous. However, not all of these fights were easy, in particular when it came to the medical ninja, who had enough chakra reserves that he was able to sprout a six-tail version of the nine tails cloak. Now, just to be clear here, 'cause I know somebody's gonna be saying, oh my god, Sai and Ino are not six-tail state. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. Just listen for a second. First of all, they struggled mightily in this fight. That's the first thing you need to understand. They struggled in this fight. They had a clear advantage before the medical ninja was able to ingest the tail beast drug. And then once that happened, everything went to hell in a handbasket. So basically, Ino ended up being taken out pretty soon afterwards, leaving Sai to do battle all alone, which saw Sai being on the defensive due to the vast difference in power that existed between himself and the person he was fighting. The only reason why this ninja ended up being defeated was that Ino, upon finally regaining consciousness, used her mind transfer jutsu on a nearby hawk, and she controlled the hawk to pick up a poison kunai, which was then used when the ninja had his guard lowered after Sai finally collapsed in the battle. Ino stabbed the guy in the back of his neck with the poison kunai, and when he tried to take the antidote, Ino reveals that the antidote had already been replaced by an anesthetic that was meant to slow his movements. Between this and the very potent poison, the ninja was brought down to a level where Sai was finally able to take him out. By the time that Sakura was finally able to defeat Kido, Sasuke had already left a blazing trail of fires burning from the fireball jutsu and the Amaterasu flames that Sasuke used to take down the remaining Anbu members who possessed the tail beast drugs and the Sharingan pills. By the time that the Ino Sakusai team, as well as Team Kakashi that consisted of Kakashi, Naruto, and Hinata, arrived at Sasuke's battlefield, Sasuke had already left the scene upon seeing that Sakura was about to defeat Kido, which is pretty impressive given the fact that, just as Sasuke said in the Naruto Gaiden adaptation when he said, "My wife is not a weak woman," well before he even married Sakura, this was an acknowledgement of his strength. The ending result of this mission was that Kido was charged with kidnapping, he was charged with domestic terrorism inside of Konoha, and international terrorism by trying to start a ninja war and frame Sasuke for it. Most importantly, Sasuke Uchiha's name was cleared, and he was able to continue his redemption journey in peace without the fear of being pursued for his past actions. However, that's gonna be it for this edition of After Naruto Shippuden. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below, but as always guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Have an awesome day, guys.